Pelumi Kehinde Oluwapelumi, I beg your pardon. Kehinde is a results-oriented product manager with a proven track record in fintech, banking, and e-commerce. At Globus Bank, he leads product strategy for school collections and third-party partnerships. He's driving marketing research and strategic collaboration to enhance solutions for schools and microfinance institutions. He also leads product development and middleman, an e-commerce enablement platform offering escrow, logistics, and cross-border payments. His work blends data-driven decision-making with strong user empathy to deliver seamless experiences and measurable business impact. Beyond product leadership, Oluwapelumi is a skilled resume writer, helping tech professionals craft compelling career narratives. His unique blend of product expertise and personal branding insights offers valuable guidance for professionals navigating career growth. He holds a BS in politics, philosophy, and economics from Obafemi Awolowo University and is passionate about using technology to build impactful and enduring products. Ladies and gentlemen, Oluwapelumi Kehinde, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and doing this with us. I mean, I like reading people's bio because naturally I love reading bios. I love watching interviews. I just like to hear about what is going on in people's head, and I feel like this is such a rich bio. And we're so happy to have you here. Thank you once again for agreeing to do this with us. So I'll be dropping the mic now and passing it to our next speaker, and he'll be teaching us about the do's and don'ts of crafting a product manager's resume.
Hi, Tobiloba. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. It's nice to be here. And like she said, we would learn a lot together. And then at the end of the session, there will definitely be questions and answers to be asked and answered, basically. So I'll be sharing my screen now. I think I can do that, right?
Yes, you can. So please, guys, stop sharing screen.
All right. All right, please let's confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen.
All right, thank you. So, okay. Okay, all right. So we can get started then. All right. So like we all know or we've known for a while, the topic is basically crafting product manager resumes, the do's and don'ts. And beyond product manager resumes, you can apply all of these tips to other kind of resumes. Most resumes have the same structure and have mostly the same rules that apply to drafting them. So we'll look at three short subheadings: why resumes matter, the do's and don'ts, and then addressing common PM resume pain points, basically. So why resumes matter? I put some statistics here so that we can see that when recruiters ask for resumes, I mean, resumes are like the doorway, or like, yeah, the access you need to get into the first step, basically, in getting into a job, or even getting to meet an interview or something. The recruiter needs to see you or know about you before seeing you, basically. And as we can see here, we see that 80% of resumes are filtered by ATS. That's an application tracking system before reaching a recruiter. So most of the times when you send in your resume, what happens is it goes through an automated system that filters through. The recruiter would have set up some checks, and so it just filters through those checks for your resume. If your resume does not meet those checks, it bounces it, and then that's why we see tweets. I mean, on Twitter, you see tweets like, "Oh, I applied to this job or to this role, and then 5 seconds later, I got a rejection mail." So that is why it happens. It's not like someone was actually waiting for you to apply and then just hit reject, basically. So your resumes get filtered out with those checks, and then before it now gets to an actual human that looks at it. And also, you see 94% of hiring managers prefer resumes tailored to the job description. So we're still talking about why resumes matter. So when you are drafting your resume, the very first rule, or the very first rule, the major rule is to always tailor your resume to fit the job description. You don't use one resume or one CV for for different kind of roles or different kind of jobs, because most people just draft a resume and then they just click mass apply and send it out to like maybe 4 or 5 different roles and then wonder why they are getting rejected, because each role has specific things that the recruiter is looking for. So you have to put those things on your resume, basically. And then for PMs, quantifying impact is a bit hard, because I mean, like we've been learning a product dive. We would know that for a PM, I mean, for a designer, for example, you can always like show screens that you designed. For an engineer, you can say, "Oh, I coded these," but for a PM, there are different metrics. Some are not even clear on what makes it what makes you a successful product manager, basically. And so in the best way to do it, we'll talk more about it in the session, is to use the X plus Y plus Z formula to make achievements concrete. I will explain what that is as we go on. And then lastly, when drafting your resume, or the reason why you should why resumes matter is that it gives you a chance as a product manager to be able to showcase that you have the right balance between the technical aspects, the business aspect, and the leadership aspects of what a product manager role entails, basically. So yes, like I mentioned earlier, first rule to drafting a resume is to actually tailor it to a job description. So we'll be looking through a job description quickly. I picked up a PAMP product manager job description. So we'll just look through that, and then we would now use that to, what's it called? We'll use it as a guide basically throughout the session. Please confirm that you can see the JD on the screen. Just an emoji or something. Okay, all right, thank you, Dayo. Yes. All right, so I've just skim through it because of time. So this is actually a real job description I picked up of LinkedIn for PAMP. So it says product manager payments, about PAMP, the role summary. They're looking for a dynamic and experienced payments product manager to lead the development and execution of their payments product strategy across diverse African markets. So it says stuff like the ideal candidate should possess a deep understanding of the African payments landscape, you see, including mobile money, digital wallets, card schemes, regulatory environment. So you see these keywords I'm highlighting, that's why I mentioned earlier that each resume has to be tailored to that job description, because these keywords are what they're looking for. And so if your resume does not have it, automatically it just, what's it called? The ATS just filters it out. So it mentions responsibilities, market research and analysis, analyze payment data, user behavior, monitor and report on key performance indicators. Another responsibility is product strategy and roadmap. So it says stuff like define and prioritize product roadmaps, ensure alignment with market needs and business goals. Then collaborate with cross-functional teams, engineering, design, marketing, operations. Then another one is product development and launch. So they expect the product manager to be naturally in charge of product development and launch, lead end-to-end product development lifecycle, work closely with engineering and design teams. So we are seeing a lot of cross-functional collaboration, manage product launches, including marketing and communication plans, drive adoption and growth. Then they expect the person to be able to manage partnerships with mobile money operators, banks, fintechs, be able to negotiate and manage partnership agreements, maintain strong relationships. Then you have regulatory compliance. So they expect the person to work closely with their legal and compliance team also. Performance monitoring and optimization, and then you have all of that. Then you see their requirements. They want someone with a bachelor's degree in business admin, finance, computer science, minimum of 5 years experience in product management, strong analytical and problem solving skills, strong project management skills, fluency in English, fluency in other African languages is a plus. Ability to travel across African countries, experience working with payment gateways and APIs. So if you pick up another product manager another product manager job description, you could find an entirely different setup. So say you craft a generic product manager resume and then you submit, you apply for this, and then you see another PM role, and maybe that one is even product manager third-party partnerships, like I currently do at Globus. Submitting a CV that speaks to this would definitely not speak to that other role. So please let's note that the cardinal rule of drafting a CV is to ensure that it aligns with the job description. So let's go back to our slide. All right. So we're going to the job description. I hope we took some notes. So we'll just, when I start speaking on the do's and don'ts, we will be able to follow. Please hold on 1 second. All right. All right. So we are going straight into it. The do's and don'ts of a resume or a CV. The first section, which is your executive summary. So what I did to make it a little bit more practical, instead of just having a bullet points or a list of items, is to actually have a, in quotes, bad CV and in quotes, a good CV tailored to that job description. And then we now look at the differences. And so we can immediately identify things that are wrong with the bad one, in quotes, and then things that are wrong with that are right with the good one, basically. So we have the don'ts at the top and we have the do's right underneath it. And so if we look at this in quotes bad CV, anyways, we see the person's name, all good. We see the information, the person's information, and then you see the email address, phone number, the LinkedIn, link to the LinkedIn page, their portfolio, and then their home address. And then you can see I put don't use your full house address. The recruiter is not coming to give you a gift or something, so you don't need to tell them your full house address. You know, if on the job description, for example, it is a location specific rule, say they say London or Lagos, then you can just put Lagos or London. But if it is not mentioned, like we could see, it was not mentioned anywhere in the job description we looked at, so there's no need for that. You don't need to put that. Then while crafting the professional summary, we can see that it is actually very long. Your professional summary should not be this long. You should have a long professional summary. 5 sentences are too long. You see, okay, let's try to read this out. It says, I'm a passionate and dedicated program manager with over 5 years of experience in various industries. I love working with teams and building products that make a difference. My career has been a journey of, and then it just keeps going on and on. No recruiter would sit down to spend their time reading through all of this. So you shouldn't have a long summary. And then, okay, yeah, don't use first person language. It is a common error we see in this. You see, I love, I'm excited to continue my path. All of that are not acceptable when I'm drafting a resume. So we see this one, the one underneath it, which is the proper resume now. See, no house address. Like I mentioned earlier, you can include it, your city if it's specified in the job description. And then the professional summary is short, concise summary, 2 sentences max. And so this is like a rule. So we can note this down when you're drafting your professional summary. 2 sentences are enough, and then you highlight the role, experience, and immediate accomplishments, and then you're good to go. So yeah, you have something like product manager with 5 years of experience in fintech, specializing in payment solutions, successfully launched a mobile payment feature that increased transaction volume by 40%, generating $5 million in annual revenue. Short, concise, and simple. And then one thing we should also note, if we could remember, while I was reading the job description, I was highlighting some keywords, and then you can see from the get-go here that this CV is already mentioning most of those keywords. So you see, they said they were looking for someone with 5 years of experience, so he puts that there, 5 years of experience, because the person has it. Payment solution mentions mobile payments. Yeah, and then it shows that, oh, I've actually accomplished something in this role. So yes, that's what we have for the executive summary. So moving on to the next one, when you are crafting your experiences. So after your executive summary, what comes next is your work experience. And so, like we did earlier, we'll look at the don'ts and then we'll go to the do's. So first thing, don't use first person language. I mentioned that earlier. I managed, I communicated, I worked on. You don't use that. You use third person instead. Don't list job responsibilities. Instead, list achievements. So that's another common mistake that people make when talking about their experience on their resumes. They just list out the job responsibilities. Everybody knows that's what you do, but while doing that, what were you able to achieve? That's what recruiters want to see. That's what should be on a resume. So yeah, everybody knows a product manager communicates with stakeholders. Everybody knows a product manager manages a team and delivers projects. Everybody knows a product manager could decide to use agile methodologies. But what are the achievements using all of that or doing all of that? And then most importantly, if you notice, this work experience lacks tailoring to the product manager role. There's no mention of payments here. There's no mention of fintech. There's no mention of mobile money. There's no mention of anything that relates to the JD we just read. So let's look at the good one. So you see straight up, first thing is you use third person achievement focused language with the X plus Y plus Z formula. Yeah, so I mentioned that I was going to explain the X plus Y plus Z formula. So what the X plus Y plus Z formula is a way for you to couch your achievements so that it makes sense and it is short and concise and simple. So basically, you accomplished X and you measured it by Y. How did you accomplish X? By doing Z. That's all. That's the XYZ formula to crafting achievements focused job experiences. So let's read the first one. It says accomplish a 40% increase in transaction volume. That is what you accomplished. How do you know you accomplished that? As measured by monthly active users. Okay, so what did you do to accomplish that? By launching a mobile payments feature integrated with local mobile money platforms. Let's look at the second one. Improved user retention by 10%. That is what you accomplished. You measured it through the churn rate, okay? And then how did you, what did you do to get 25% of user retention? By implementing a data-driven UX redesign for the payment checkout process. So this is like the trick to writing or listing out your achievements under your work experience section. So include relevant keywords, and yeah, you can see here, you can immediately see the relevant keywords there. You can immediately see mobile payment feature. You can immediately see local mobile money platform. You can immediately see time to market. You can immediately see development cycles. You can, the last one, it says establish partnership with 3 major mobile money operators. You can immediately see partnerships. You can immediately see agreements. So all of those things that what's it called, that were mentioned in the job description, all those keywords are what's it called, can be seen under the work experience. And then lastly, quantifies achievements with metrics. That's the key thing. Like I mentioned, like you don't just list out your responsibilities. What did you achieve? And then numbers speak, like we all know. So you have to be able to put it into numbers. So I onboarded 10,000 users. So we reduced time to market by 3 months. We're supposed to do 6 months. We reduced 3 months. We onboarded so much, and so put numbers to it. Don't just say we did this. How did you do it? And what did you use in measuring, basically? We'll look at the experience again. Yeah, just emphasizing on what I mentioned earlier. So this is the don'ts again. Don't use first person language. Don't list job descriptions. Instead, list your achievements. Don't use vague, unquantifiable bullet points, and then always tailor it to the job description. Again, if we look at this, you see using the X plus Y plus Z formula, accomplish a 50% increase in payment processing speed as measured by transaction latency by integrating with new payment APIs and optimizing backend systems. So, so all of this when you are writing out or listing out your experiences. And one other thing that I think I didn't mention earlier, one other thing that we should note is that most of the soft skills, most of the soft skills that are mentioned as needed in the job description, you don't necessarily have to list it out. It should show up in your experiences. So when they mention things like team collaboration or working with teams or being able to handle tasks, you can immediately see it from the experience. I mean, when you're reading something like enhanced product adoption by 20% as measured by new user signups by conducting market research to tailor features for local consumer needs, you automatically can see that this person has experience working with a marketing team, or has experience in marketing, or worked with or has experience with product launch, basically. When he mentioned processing speed as measured by transaction latency by integrating with new payment APIs. Obviously, it's not the product manager that actually did this integration with the new payment APIs, but it shows that, he actually has experience with APIs, and then he can work with engineers, both front-end and back-end engineers, to implement features, basically. So you should be able to showcase all of this. Remember what I mentioned, what I said in the very first slide. You should be, from your CV, you should be able to showcase your leadership and your technical abilities as a product manager. The fact that you're able to merge all of those intersections, basically. Yeah, so the next section after your experience should be your education and certifications. And if you see these don'ts, from what this person puts here, he puts education and certification, 2023 certified Scrum product owner from Scrum Alliance. Then he puts a Bachelor of Arts in History from XYZ University. It could be any university anyways. So I put here that don't include relevant education and skills. So if we remember the job description, it specifically mentioned the the degrees that they are expecting. They were expecting a BSc, I think, in business and computer science or something. So if you don't have it, you don't have to put it there. So you just put relevant certification. So you could put your product dive product certification. But yeah, that. So the Bachelor of Arts in History, for example, has no relevance when it comes to the job description. But if this person, for example, was applying to an art institute, for example, then Bachelor of Arts in History definitely has to be there. Then they do not need to put this certified Scrum product owner certification, even though they are a certified Scrum product owner. It will not be relevant to that particular job description. So just what I mentioned, educations and certifications here are relevant. You can see here this person has a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and certified Scrum product owner, basically. Because of our time, moving on, please let's note our questions so we would ask after. So the next section will be the skills. Don't include only soft skills and relevant skills. If we read through the skills here, you see skills like team player, great communicator, PS5 champion, Jira, agile, leadership, passionate, problem solver. Like I mentioned, most of these soft skills, you should be able to communicate it, or you should already communicate them in while listing out your achievements under your experience section. So it does not make the CV in itself too lengthy. I think that's one thing I missed out on saying. For a career that is less than 5 years, your CV should not be more than 1 page. For a career, if you are any career, no matter the career, product management, any other career, your CV should not be, or your resume should not be more than a page. So listing out skills like this instead of incorporating them into your experience section would just make the CV lengthy. And so if we look at the do's, you see list only technical skills and languages. So this is where you will now incorporate the keywords that are mentioned in the product, in the job description here. So you see things like agile methodologies, payment gateways, APIs, market research, data analysis, Jira, Confluence, SQL, English fluent, Swahili fluent. If you remember, the job description mentioned that the person should be fluent in English and also any other African language. That's why we are putting Swahili here. So if that is not stated, there's no need for you to let the recruiter know that you can speak Yoruba or you can speak Hausa or you can speak Fulani, as the case may be. So, but the reason why we put it here is because job description said, oh, fluency in an African language is an added advantage, basically. So yeah, so list out only technical skills and languages that are relevant to the job description. The next slide, projects and other information. So after you have put your professional summary, your experience, your education and certification, and your skills, then you can now add other things like projects if you have and other information. So from the don'ts, you can see this person included the structure of this. Basically, that's what we're looking at. You should not just put ambiguous words like, oh, I built an app in my free time. It's a cool idea, but not finished yet. I helped a friend with a website once. You should make it more concrete. We'll read the do shortly, and then additional information. All of this is unnecessary. It just would make the resume to be longer than it should. I love hiking and playing video games. I speak conversational Spanish. Nobody asked you, sorry, in the job description. So yeah, don't include unnecessary additional information if they are not relevant to the job description. Please note that I keep saying you should refer to the job description because that is the that is what you are writing the resume for. If you pick up another job description, you include what's it called? Different set of keywords. You include different set of sections, basically. And so yeah, this is what your project section should look like. So for this person, is founder and product lead for a mobile pay app. And then it says develop a mobile payment app for small businesses, increasing transaction efficiency by 35% through seamless integration with local digital wallets. So the project demonstrates leadership and relevance to payments. Remember, we're applying to a product manager payments role. So, and then they mentioned mobile apps, they mentioned digital wallets. So if you have a project that speaks to that, couch it, what's it called, properly. Yes, so those are the do's and don'ts, basically, for those are just some of the do's and don'ts. If you follow all of those rules when drafting your resume or your CV, you shouldn't have a problem. You would have a very properly couched resume. So I just put 3 more points since we are talking to PMZ, and then these are some of the pain points I also experienced while job searching. The first challenge or the first issue most PMs have is career transitions. Even though it's not mentioned on my bio, I was first in operations management before I transitioned into product management. And so while I was trying to like get my first role, this was a major issue because I mean, I was doing supply chain and logistics all my lives. It did not have anything to do with what's it called, crafting, product roadmap, all of that. So transitioning to a PM role from fields like even engineering, transitioning from engineering, I think someone mentioned earlier that she was transitioning from an engineering background or marketing or design, where skills may not directly align with PM expectations. The first thing you do is identify transferable skills and frame them in PM terms. So for example, an engineer can say something like defined technical requirements for a payment API, reducing integration time by 20% as measured by deployment cycles. If you notice, I keep using the X plus Y plus Z framework because that's the best way to couch it. So for marketing, for example, there are all of these different rules. You will definitely be able to find transferable skills that are that are relevant to a PM role. For a marketing person now, you can put something like increase user adoption by 15% as measured by sign-offs by conducting customer research to inform product features. So identify transferable skills and frame them in PM terms. Second thing to do, I already mentioned, is use the X plus Y plus Z formula to show impact in past roles, even if not PM specific. And then leverage side projects or volunteer work to demonstrate PM relevant experience. I think this is one thing that helped a lot while I was trying to get my first PM role. So I did a number of volunteering. And so instead of just listing all my supply chain and logistics experience on the resume, which did not have anything to do with PMing, I listed those those projects. So my work experience section was majorly those side projects and volunteer work, and mentioning the exact things I did while volunteering. The second common pain points is gaps or limited experience. Yeah, I think we've talked about it. So issues like, oh, I've only been a PM for 3 months or for 6 months, or maybe you even took a career break and then you don't have, you're finding it hard to show relevant experiences. Same things apply. You emphasize side projects, emphasize hackathons or volunteer work to showcase those PM skills. So as a product manager in training, or as someone transitioning into product management, while you're waiting for that first PM role, ensure that you ensure that you have enough projects that you worked on. Always reach out to people. One advice I give is you should make best friends with engineers and designers, so you can always work with them. Oh, I have an idea, let's build this out. So as a PM, you write out the PRD or the FRD, and then you basically manage the whole process, even if it does not become a useful or a live, when I mean useful, I mean a live usable product. But building that up and being able to like mention it as one of the experiences would help along with for someone with limited physical experience. So joining hackathons, most hackathons that you see around, I don't think I've seen a product management hackathon. So most hackathons are usually engineering focused or design focused, and all of these people need product managers. So always find ways to join those so that you can garner enough experience to include. Then volunteer work. Yes, volunteer, because you can always reach out to. So volunteering can be paid, it can be unpaid, depends on what you want. And then you can always reach out to like PMs, that like senior PM, maybe someone with 5-6 years, and then you just reach out, cold DMing them. Oh, you probably are working on a lot of things. Can I just join? Work on maybe parts of your work, basically, with you overseeing. So those kind of projects, hackathons, volunteering work are things that would, if you do enough of them, you'll be able to like draft a very full CV, even if you are just transitioning. Then highlight your certifications. There's a product guide certification, there's PMP, there are a lot of certifications and courses you can always take online, and then just list those certifications, because those certifications means that you have knowledge, and then you can commit to learning. So when you are reaching out or trying to, sorry about that. Please confirm that you can still hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, all right, sir. Thank you. I'll just put this in silent. All right. So yes, highlight certifications. Yes. Then lastly, quantify impacts in non-PM roles using X plus Y plus Z to bridge experience gaps. So for example, like I mentioned earlier, I was into operations before I transferred into product management, and so there are a lot of things in operations. Operations has to do with working with people. You have to always work with people. You have to always coordinate teams. You have to always be drivers or other stakeholders. You have to work with stakeholders also. So there are no jobs that you are currently doing right now that you can't like what's the English now? You can't pick up, you can't pick up skills from there and just showcase them. So you can still put your current role, maybe you're a marketing person, and just ensure that the experiences you're highlighting are PM related, basically. And then the last one, overloading technical jargon. So there are a lot of, and by technical jargon, I even mean PM technical jargons like agile, MVP, disruptive, listing those things out without putting them in proper context can make your resume unclear. It can make recruiters or even the ATS not know what you are talking about. So instead of using all of those buzzwords like agile, implemented agile methodologies, for example, or built an MVP for a fintech product, use clear metric-driven language. Use plain English to explain. I mean, one of your jobs or your roles, one of your jobs as a PM is to be able to communicate to users, be able to communicate to stakeholders so that they can understand what you're saying and buy into your vision or your dream or your product vision, basically. So you should apply that to your resume also and be able to use clear metric-driven language, balance technical and business achievements to appeal to both technical and non-technical recruiters. So don't just fill up your your resume with words like agile, words like sprint, words like Jira, and all of that. Put business put business words there, and then tailor your jargon to the job. So if in the job description you don't see anything like agile, there's nothing agile is looking for in your job resume. If you don't see anything like compliance, there's nothing compliance is looking for in your resume. Just tailor that jargon to the job description. So I noted down some examples here. So I mentioned that. So instead of saying implemented agile methodologies, for example, you can say reduce delivery time by 30% as measured by sprint cycles by streamlining agile processes with cross-functional teams. Agile methodology is basically a way to ensure that you deliver products faster. So just put it that way. Instead of just saying implemented agile methodology and then leaving it to the ATS or to the recruiter to figure out what that means. So saying something like, oh, built an MVP for a fintech product, you can mention what exactly you built. Oh, we launched a mobile payments feature, increased transaction volume by 25% as measured by monthly active users. Simple. I have one last one here. Integrated. Okay, yeah. So instead of I think that's it. So okay, yes. I think that's it for me. Anyways, yeah, that's it for me. Thank you very much for listening. I really appreciate it. I hope I've been very clear. I've been able to explain properly, and I've been able to convince you that you can write a resume yourself, not just give it to someone to write and then all of that. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Oluwapelu. I'm glad this session, is recorded because I know people want to go over and over it again and just put it side by side their CV and work on it, as they listen. Thank you so much for delivering such impactful, session. Thank you so much. Please don't leave us here.